Hi everyone. Uh, Welcome to my tutorial channel. This is Daniela, and today I'm going to talk about my new plane. I'm about to make a new series of videos in order to prepare for exam IFM, investment and financial market. It is the third exam of SOA, Society of Actuaries. And today on this live stream, I'm going to share about my plan, how I'm going to make the video, and I would like to share with you some tips to practice for XMP and XMFM as well. So on my channel, I do have a series of XMP exam, XMFM exam, and my suggestion is when you watch my video after each topic, you have to do all the exercises that relate to the topic. For example, on lesson 1, when you learn uh, lesson 1, after finish my video, you have to do the exercise, the problems that relate to lesson 1. When you study lesson 4, after you finish lesson 4, you should try to uh, like practice on the assignments. And for the exam IFM that I'm going to post by this Sunday, I'm going to make the first lesson of IFM. Give me 1 second. Let me find the content. So for IFM, investment and market, financial market, if you look at the syllabus that you can find on the website of SOA, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 topics. The first topic is mean variance. The second topic is assess pricing models. Then market efficiency and behavioral finance, investment risk and projects analysis, capital structure, introductory derivatives, forwards, futures, general properties of options, binomial pricing models, Black-Scholes option pricing model, option Greek, and risk management. So this is the outline. This is the syllabus. And the first video, I'm going to focus on the mean variance, how to compute the mean, the arithmetic mean, the geometric mean, how to use them to estimate the expected return, and how to compute the variance, the volatility in order to compare, to pick out the least risky assets or least risky investment. So that is the main topic of the first lesson, which is posted by this Sunday by 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And there are 10 big topics, but I'm going to section them into maybe 20 videos, less than 20 videos. And I'm going to include some interesting exercises, some interesting homework assignments. And I want you to, in order to have the best practice for the exam, we have to first like watch my video and then try to do all the problems, the question, the exercise that relates to the lesson. So on my first video, I'm going to talk about the mean variance portfolio theory. And I would like to receive feedback from the viewers. If you are enjoying my video, please don't hesitate to ask me a question. Because your feedback and your question will help me to improve my channel. I believe my channel provides sufficient knowledge to pass the exam. So after you watch my video, it's all on you. You have to just practice along with my videos. And I would like to give you my email address. So in case that you have some question that you don't know how to do, you can go ahead and email me. I'll reply you within 2 days. If there are not so many emails, I might reply your email immediately. But if there are so many emails coming up, I might have to, maybe either reply you in 2 days or make a video to combine them all to make one video question answered. And for XMP and XMFM, XMP, I got 9 on the exam, and I believe I have strong knowledge about XMP. So if you're practicing on XMP and if you need somebody to help you with your exam, to answer your question, to help you out at somewhere that you stuck up, please don't hesitate to let me know. I will be there. I will answer your question either by replying directly on my comments or just leave me your email address. I can just, uh, send you the answer and explain it to you uh, like clearly. Just like today, I got one question from one unknown person. He was watching my one of my videos in a series of financial mathematics exam FM. That's the second exam, and he got a question about the uh, the uh, the accumulated value at time t2 of $1 invested at time t1. And I think I did give him a clear explanation. So that's how we question and respond. So if you have any question about XMP, XMFM, and any tips for exam, please don't hesitate to ask me a question. I will be happy to make video to answer your question. And for the exam IFM, I haven't taken exam IFM yet. I'm still learning and practicing for it, but I would like to study with you all. So whatever I learn here will be posted on the video. I'm not going to post so many exercise because it's gonna make my video long. I'm going to post the content, the core knowledge, the core concepts, definition, theorem, algorithms, and some core basic question to give you a good illustration on a topic. However, in order to have the best practice, I repeat, you still have to go over the practice, the question. And if you write down my email address, I'm gonna type it in the comment here so you can have my email address. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to email me, okay? Um, Now I'm going to share with you some tips for XMP and XMFM. Um, First, for the XMP, after you watch my video and practice on the exercise along with the video, I want you to do one more thing before you take the exam. You have to go into the SOA website, read over the policy, the test policy, to make sure that when you go to the test room, you have appropriate items. For XMP, I suggest you to get the calculator TI-30 XS. That is I passed XMP with that calculator. And for the XMFM, I suggest you to have two calculators. The calculator that you use for XMP and one more calculator that is the financial calculator. It's like BA something. You can look on the website of SOA. So for the XMP, you need one calculator, but for XMFM, I suggest you to have two calculators. One is the regular symbol calculator TI-30XS, and another one is a financial calculator. And when you practice for XMP, there are like the mock test on the website of SOA. So you can either go to the SOA and look for the online practice test, or you can just search it online like XMP online practice test, and then look under the list of the website that pop up. You have to look for something from the domain of SOA, from the website of SOA, and they're like they have a bunch of practice tests. XMP is quite similar to the online practice test, so if you can go over the online practice test successfully, you don't even need to get nervous when you take the actual exam, because the actual XMP is exactly exam the online XMP is the same difficulty level, which is different number and stuff. And so that is my suggestion. I repeat for XMP. First, you need calculator that is TI-30 XS. It's a simple calculator. And you need to watch over my videos, and after you finish each of the videos, you have to practice on the exercise, the question, and then when you're done with the 10 topics of XMP, the next thing you have to do is go online, work on the practice test, the online practice test. You can either search for it online like XMP online practice test, or you can find it right on the website of SOA. So that is XMP. On the exam, you will be given like 30 question, like 30 question. And the way they grade for it is not like Basinus. It's not like Basinus. I repeat, it's not Basinus. XMP is, the way they grade for it is like, usually like on the exam, they have a couple pilot question. Pilot question means that they will be given on the exam, but they don't, but the question actually don't give any credit on the exam. That means the question, either you get it right or wrong, doesn't affect your grade. But the dangerous game here is uh, the examiner don't let the test taker know which question is the pilot's question. So when you take the exam, after you finish the exam, you, of course, you will get to know if you pass the exam or fail the exam, but you cannot tell what grade you got on the exam, because first of all, the test is not graded by Basinus. It's not like you got 27 out of 30, then you take 27 divided by 30 for the Basinus. It's not that way. We have a couple of pilot questions. And the pilot question is actually the reason why the exam SOA created the pilot question, because they have to prepare for the test of the next exam. So usually they give those questions to test the contestant. So when the contestant do the exam, they know whether they should give that question on the next exam. So usually that's how SOA, like I believe SOA people are smart. They use the old test taker to test the test before they give the new exam. So, and another thing is, like, some of you might think that people who got grade, like grade 6 or grade 4 or grade 5, mean uh, they couldn't do nothing. Is not exactly like that. Usually the way they grade for exam is like after they subtract the past question, they will have the scale like this. They will have the passing score. The passing score. Usually for XMP, the passing score is around 71%, around that. So people who got 71% correctly will be given like a six, a six. And then the people who got 110% of the grade 6 would be grade 7. For example, 71%, if you time with 110%, let me see, let me do a messed up here. 71% time with 101%, 110%. So in order to get 7, you have to got 78.1%. That's how XMP is graded. And in order to get grade 8, you have to have like 120% of the passing grade. So it should be 71% times with 1.2. It should be around 85.2% in order to get 8. And in order to get 9, you have 0.71 times 1.3. It should be around 92.3% in order to get 9. You see that? So when I took the XMP, I got 9. That means my percentage should be at least 93%. So suppose on the exam, if there are 2 piles question, then I'll got like 92.3% from 28 question, like including the piles question. So that is about the exam P. Now about exam FM, the way they grade exam FM is the same with exam P. However, there's one more thing you need to know about exam FM. For exam FM, you will have like 35 questions instead of 30 with the same amount of time, like 3 hours. And the test will be completely on the computer. It's called CBT test. I don't know who take the paper test. I have never taken paper test, so I don't know how it works. But for CBT test, that means the computer-based test. For finance or mathematics exam, the second exam FM, there will be 35 questions, and you will be given exactly 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, your computer like automatically turn off. And on the exam, like they will have the option for you to review the question that you didn't do. Look at the question, review the question you already done, look at the question you didn't do, or they also have the option that mark the question. For example, if you look at one question and you're unsure how to do it, you can mark that question, or you can just like or you when if you already did that question but you're not sure that you got it correctly and you want to review it later, you can mark the question so that when you finish the other question you can go back without look at one by one. You can look at the outline review and then pick the question that you didn't do. So that is a tip for you to tackle the exam. exam FM, it's hard to say whether XMP is harder or exam FM is harder. Uh, some people think XMP is harder, and some people think exam FM is harder. Well, XMP is like more theoretical, and exam FM is more practical. So actually, exam FM require more concepts. But the math stuff is like more about applied math more than like it's more like kind of like more it's go more about money and the way we count interest. But for XMP, they have more question about calculus. So it depends. For people who major in statistics, they might think XMP is easier, and for people who major in finance, they might think XMFM is easier. For me, I think XMFM is harder because uh, I'm not native speaker. I'm not American, so when I read the question on XMFM, sometimes they have some multiple choice question to test you about the concepts, and they use different vocabulary. So as you really have to read the whole book, you cannot skip any pages in order to understand exactly the meaning of a statement. Because on the exam FM, you're gonna have some question as for which of the following statement is correct or which of the following statements are incorrect, for example. So you really have to read the whole. You cannot just focus on the formula sheet. The math stuff is not hard, but the concept require a lot of things. So for me, exam FM is harder because I've been doing like statistics and probabilities for years. So when I look at the XMP, when I look at XMP, I feel like most of the contents was familiar. Like they was familiar to me. And when I practice for XMP, I spend only 2 months for that, because 2 or 3 months for that, because I on the XMP from chapter 1 to chapter 9, those topics I learned before, I just have to review. Only the topic 10 was new to me. That's the risk management. But the risk management is not hard. You should have to make sure you have strong knowledge about normal distribution, because risk management require a lot of knowledge um, in standard normal distribution and normal distribution. So that was XMP. For me, exam FM is harder because they have a lot of questions that they just test about statements, and then uh, the when I took the exam, the first time I failed, then the second time I passed with grade 8. The first time I focused more on formulas and then did the math stuff, but then when I got into the exam, they used some question about statements, and then they test me about the concept, the definition, and that was why I failed exam FM the first time. But then after that, I knew what I did wrong, so I went home and I read the whole book. I didn't even skip one page. I didn't skip even one page of the book. And finally, I got exam. I passed it with grade 8. And when you practice for exam FM, you also watch my video. You go over the practice. Uh, but when you practice for XMP, when you do the actual test, I suggest you to uh, like do not to work on the online exam posters on SOA, because I don't know why, but exam FM, the mock test online is not really close to they are not really close to the actual exam. They usually easier. They are usually easier. So if you should work on the online exam FM, you might feel overconfident, and then when you got into the actual exam, you will fail because you're gonna see some question you have never seen before. I don't know why they haven't updated yet, but that's my experience when I took the exam FM. Now I'm going to take the exam IFM maybe after the summer pass, after the COVID season over, and so I'm going to since I told you for exam IFM, there are 10 topics. There are 10 topics, and I'm going to make like 15 videos, I guess, around 15 videos, 10 or 15, yes. So it's gonna take up to maximum 20 videos. I cannot say right now, but because there's some topics I have to section them into one and the two or three video instead of one. So let's say around 20 videos, like maximum 20 videos. So I'm gonna start by this Sunday, and each week I'm gonna make one video. So probably uh, about 3 or 4 months we finish the whole thing. We finish the whole thing. Right now May, and 4 months later is September. Yeah, around 4 months we finish everything of exam IFM. Um, because I'm planning to take the exam in September, October. I'm not sure yet. I will check it later, but I think around that time. So that is my words about exam IFM. Um, so I repeat, this Sunday I'm going to make the video of mean variance. And then the next Sunday I'm going to make assess pricing models, and then so on, so on. I will decide what topic to go next. The way I make video is I stick to the syllabus to make sure I don't miss any content. So the easiest thing I can point out on the first video is the mean variance. And for this lesson, I suggest you shouldn't practice IFM if you don't have knowledge about XMP and XMFM. And you shouldn't watch the video if you don't have any knowledge about statistics, because mean variance is basically some concept in statistics. If you have never learned mean variance before, you might feel this topic is quite new. um Let me see, 27 minutes. Hmm. All right, so that is everything I want to talk about today. So see you on Sunday, and please wait for my video on Sunday by 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Bye bye, and see you later.